a little bit of a larger plaque than what we were seeing before, these little tiny ones.
Coconut oil would do great.
It's very glowy. When you have that glow to it, it means that uric acid crystals have probably stuck to the plaque.
That's right, that's a good
That
idea.
gives it that glow.
So,
Is that good or bad, or?
Well, uric acid is it's a normal, functioning part of our body. Like we all have uric acid, but if you have too much, like where you can actually see it in the blood, it may mean a weakness in your metabolism, being able to break down your proteins, fats, carbs, and that a lot of times there's more acidity, acidity associated
Instead
with the
of
uric
alkaline.
acid. Yeah.
which is B17, which is the cancer killer.
Some of this cloudiness that we see also can indicate acidity.
I wonder, does she do?
You got plenty of white blood cells we're seeing so far. That's just a big bubble. You still see some movement. Red blood cells are moving still, so that's good. I'm gonna make a note of that we've got pretty good movement.
Whatever you do. I wonder if you can sprinkle a little bit. Like if you took a teaspoon and started it. See if I can
We're not seeing a lot of clumping together of your red blood cells, so that's a good thing.
I wonder if we could.
There's just a lot of bubbles out here. But for the most part, your red blood cells look like they're pretty separated, not sticking together.
Along with the turmeric.
That also helps them to make their deliveries in a real timely manner.
Not to mention the top of
That along with the movement.
Yeah.
But these little things that are moving in your plasma are parasites. And that is a really high amount of parasites. So what they're doing is
Eating up my nutrients.
eating what?
Nutrients.
Yeah. Yeah. And releasing a lot of toxicity in your system too. So that might be why you have a lot of white blood cells.
Because they're trying to
Help to
Trying to
keep
help.
all this under control. You also have some fungus. That's what this cloudy gray stuff is.
I mean, as far as how much.
That also might be why you have higher white blood cells. These white blood cells have these different lobes to them, which would make them
The
neutrophils.
lighter of the fourth.
And the job of the neutrophils
I'll scoop out in count.
is mainly to respond to bacteria,
Okay, thank you.
viruses, parasites, fungus, things like that. So it kind of corresponds with what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of neutrophils, a lot of parasites, a lot of fungus.
So what actually causes the parasites?
Parasites. I think everybody's born with them
What's your
because
idea?
we've done babies'
Bacteria.
blood.
Is it like bacteria?
It's different than bacteria. They're different organisms, but so bacteria. I don't know that bacteria like feeds off of our body. Parasites definitely feed off of our body. So we can't see bacteria on here.
That's a lot of parasites.
It really is a high amount. This will be a 5 for sure.
I guess I could drink some alcohol, maybe get them.
Okay.
I never drank alcohol.
We recommend some of our parasite herbs, but you also want to make sure that your body, if you're going to spend money on parasite herbs, I would recommend working on the terrain of your body so that they don't just all come back after you're done using the herbs.
So
Then you're wasting your money.
what particular herbs fight parasites?
The ones that we like a lot from the Nature Sunshine brand, they've got an Artemisia combination, which is the wormwood, Artemisia wormwood. But the combination part also includes like garlic. You could go look at the label. It's got all these other herbs along with it. Black walnut is a really good parasite herb as well, especially for parasites in the head. So when Jim does the iridology, if he sees parasites in the brain, he'll recommend black
2
walnut.
ounces is gonna be 22.
Well, I've seen people use those two herbs for
You know,
6 months,
I was gonna say.
Is that
and
fair?
see a pretty big
Yeah, that
pretty
would
big
be what,
difference.
44
Now,
servings?
Nature Sunshine also has a box of herbs called Paracleanse,
Right.
and it's got the black walnut and I think the artemisia, and it's got herbal pumpkin and a laxative and other things to just really do like a hard cleanse.
I have no problem with elimination. I'll probably eliminate 5 times a day.
Okay. Yeah.
Still got parasites though. Gotta kill
Yeah.
them. Get them out though.
Yeah, and so the terrain part of it would be, low sugar, low or no sugar in your diet, and also work on the pH where it's not so acidic. They like the acidic environment. So if you can get the pH moved a little more towards
To 7.
a normal pH level, like with the liquid chlorophyll, or you can drink lemon water and lime.
I'm doing all that.
Okay, do you do the chlorophyll?
Yes.
Okay.
I've emptied 1 bottle.
Okay.
And I drink the, mint green juice and stuff.
Well, you're already moving in the right direction towards that terrain, then making it a good balanced terrain.
Yeah.
The other thing is making sure you have plenty of good bacteria in your gut with all of your.
Probiotic.
Mhm. Yeah.
I bought it and I take it every now and then, but
Mhm.
I do notice some grumbling down here.
Mhm. It takes some time to get that balance between the good and the bad bacteria back. With all the hospital visits you've probably had, you've probably been on some antibiotics and other things that really mess the gut up. Even just drinking tap water.
I have to struggle with that one.
Well,
In the
try
past,
Try not to.
yeah.
Well, I've been drinking
I'll figure
reverse
out something.
osmosis water.
Good.
But I also have been putting stuff in it that I shouldn't be putting in
He
it.
likes to eat, I have that on my
Okay.
side.
Today I started with cucumber
Mhm.
water,
Nice.
lemon water, sweetened with trivia,
Okay.
ginger.
Mhm.
I didn't put any ginger in it today,
Okay.
but I emulsified all that and put it in a container so I can add it to
Nice.
my water.
Nice. Good.
I told my wife I'm
Yeah.
gonna get healthy before I start trying to lose weight.
Okay. Well, that's the way to do it.
Because you can't lose weight.
It just
if you're not
happens.
Healthy. Yeah.
When you're healthy, it just happens. So, but those are the 3 things I recommend with a parasite cleanse would be good bacteria, a good pH, and a low sugar diet. Because that's what parasites love. They love the opposite of that. So that'll really help speed things up. So the para cleanse is a 10-day cleanse, and we recommend doing 20 days straight, so 2 boxes in a row, and then take a 10-day break, and then do it the next month, then do it the month after that. So at least 3 or 4 months of the para cleanse if you want to do that route.
Perfect eyes.
The artemisia black walnut, you can also do that. Those are 2 bottles of capsules. You could also do those for about 6 months. So either way, you could do either one and then come back and see how it looks. See if you've seen improvement. And then I would recommend maybe doing a maintenance month or 2 every year, and just kind of keep it down.
But them things just keep moving, don't they?
And it's real easy for them to come back and grow back. But we all get them from birth. We can get it from our parents. We can get it from foods that we're eating. But I think the main thing is we all have some at birth, and the terrain of our body just will either encourage growth or not. So I think most Americans in our diets and our lifestyles have encouraged the growth of
Yeah.
these microscopic parasites.
If you feed them that granulated sugar,
Yeah, which, I mean, that's,
they probably get bigger than your red blood cells.
yeah. Yeah. Yes, they can. So
It's good. How are you doing?
so that's and then I also recommend following a schedule around the moon cycles, because parasites are very active around the full moon, which means they're probably really active this week. So we just had full moon. I think full moon was last night maybe. So yeah, they're reproducing a lot around full moon, and they're extremely active. So if you'll do your parasite cleanse the 20 days surrounding full moon right in the middle, 10 days leading up to full moon, 10 days after, you're going to have a better chance of really targeting them when they're most active. And then you take a 10-day break, and that 10 days allows them to start coming out from their protective mechanisms that they go into. So that 10 days they start coming back out again, because they usually hide when they're being attacked. And then you can start it up again for the next 20 days. Does that make sense? We got it all recorded, so you can go back and check it out again.
If she
You
doesn't,
definitely have
she doesn't.
hypersegmentation, neutrophils.
I still do patches for that too. You can, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One way or the other.
We're not seeing a lot of
Yeah, that
large
that would be
plaques.
great, 'cause then it's
like
an
these are just real
open
small
so
plaques.
between this and the
Little
coconut
tiny.
oil.
Not seeing a lot of that, so that's a good thing. You may have been on some medications in the past that really
That would be
might have helped with that.
I won't take the,
If we're
you're
going
talking
to
about
digest
the
it up a bit.
anti-cholesterol medication?
in the past.
Where these two are
It's
gonna
been
be
a
consumed.
distance pass.
Business pass, so that's good.
I
Okay.
take
Yeah, all
vitamin
three
E
of these
and
are 4
salmon
ounces.
oil.
Take what?
This one.
Vitamin E and salmon oil.
Good. Okay, that'll do it too.
So you can
Yeah.
do
I
exterior
take
and
quite a bit of
interior.
Okay.
that, turmeric.
Mhm.
I take some garlic and capsicum, a lot of capsicum.
See, these look really nice. So if you look at that normal blood picture up there and compare it to this, it's very close, isn't it? If you didn't have the parasites. If you didn't have all the parasites in there. So, looking nice. Those, you want the cell walls to be nice and round. You don't want them to be squished together too much, clumped.
This is the one that
We're mainly just seeing a lot of parasites and fungus.
And what about that fungus? What is that?
So fungus, one of the best things we've seen that help get rid of that systemic fungus that's all throughout the blood is the garlic allium tablets. And there's a whole program for that too that's about 3 or 4 months long as well. You use the Acidophilus Plus. You're already doing a probiotic, so you do the probiotic.
I just kind of play around with it. I don't take it every day.
Okay.
I got it, and I just thought it would be good, but
Well, this program is working your way up to 5 garlic at bedtime. So you wouldn't do it the first night, but maybe after 2 weeks you would be up to 5. Kind of slowly keep adding more.
That's why I was wondering about.
And then in the morning, take your probiotic.
okay. See, I wasn't sure when to take this stuff,
You can do either, but in this case, it's good to kind of take them apart. And it's nice to take the garlic at night so you don't smell strong like garlic during the day,
Who cares?
possibly. So,
If you don't
and the body's doing a lot of like detoxing and
At
cleansing
night, right.
at night,
Yeah.
so the garlic can help in that process. But so five garlic at bedtime. Work your way up to 2 Acidophilus Plus in the morning. So you could start with 1 every day, and then get up to 2 after about 2 weeks.
4 ounces.
I take so much other stuff, calcium, magnesium,
Better hear you say.
what's the opposite of sodium?
Share again your last.
Potassium.
Potassium.
Minor and the
I take, they got a whole lot of stuff wrong, so I said, I can't take all that stuff,
Yeah.
because some of that stuff don't mix and match well. But I don't know what does.
Well, keep talking to Jim when you see him, and keep asking him, you know, his opinion, and keep listening to your body too.
The reason I've been listening to my body, the reason I've been getting all this other stuff. I know about garlic, capsicum, those things.
Thank you for your help.
Because I understand that the nitric acid needs something to mobilize it, it needs to go to, and the garlic does that.
Emotional support does.
Yeah, and garlic's great for preventing clumping, clotting, plaques.
I hope they surprise you more.
It also helps with the parasites, but it's not the strongest thing for parasites. So it's helpful with that. But I would just look at the parasite program and the garlic program or the fungus program as they're just short-term programs.
I'm trying to do all this stuff with food.
The murder of crows with the clutches of ducks. Going, hi, hello, how y'all doing?
Good.
Without having to worry about being predator and prey. Say that again?
Good.
I did eat a meal today.
You and I, yeah, I agree.
I wasn't hungry, so I didn't eat it.
Thank you.
I don't eat
Wish
this
me
at
luck.
home. I eat
Yes,
this
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, and I try to eat
Oh, no.
I haven't had my
Hey.
salads like I have been. I just kind of got tired and I started eating meat and
He's pulling you
potatoes.
up right now.
Great, thanks.
What kind of food are
Well, I just haven't seen anybody get this level of fungus and parasites down with diet alone. I mean, I think it can be done long term. Like, I'm not sure how long it would take.
Still probably
But-
enjoying that sugar that I had a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's years of sugar.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's years and years.
Exactly.
'Cause I used to just, I used to eat buckets of candy and stuff.
And a lot of times,
Because
that's so funny.
I've cut it way back to just,
I mean, if it,
a small amount every now and then.
Okay. Yeah.
I know, right, much more.
You can't hardly drink nothing that doesn't have sugar in it, even if it says 100%. But I'm sure that those things, they're like the sugar that's in watermelon too. That's sugar in it.
In fruit, yeah, fruit and
Well,
some
I-
vegetables have some sugar, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
that's the kind you want to have. Those are the ones you want to have.
Yes.
but they still
Just
like
not
that.
too much of it, but yeah.
Was it just?
Well, I ate figs,
Oh yeah,
fresh figs. I planted 6 fig trees over
We
my
have
granddaughter's house.
nice.
And she called me, "Oh, I got a bag of figs."
Yay! I've got fig tree, but it is not producing.
Yeah, well, they do it about every other year sometimes.
So I used to get huge batches, and then I had to cut my tree down because of a bark fungus, like the bark was getting diseased,
Right.
and started over. And ever since I started over, I haven't gotten. That was about 5 years ago. I still haven't gotten good.
You cut them down to a stub.
Yeah, well, not to a stub. Good. I need to take it down that far.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out.
Mm-mm.
We just cut them back.
Yeah, cut it back.
Well, a lot of times you cut them back in February.
Mhm.
Sometimes it shocks them.
Mhm.
They need hours because they only produce on the new growth.
Yeah, we
Anyway.
have several different options.
Mhm.
So,
It just gets too big if I don't
right.
cut it back.
Oh, yeah, they'll get
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, okay.
If you cut it down to about 6 foot or 5 foot.
Yeah, that's about
Are you a
the
member of Neolite?
about the height.
Yeah.
Cut it back to.
Okay.
Give it another year in February of the next year.
There are two
Cut it
products
down to
that
about
they
5 or
sell
6 foot.
that
Mhm.
I would go
And
immediately.
I even cut it. I even cut it twice this year
immediately
because
when
they
you
said
started
sometimes
before we discovered
growth,
it, liked it.
because it just grows out of control, like really high.
they do.
Even after I trim it,
Garlic's going to kill.
prune it for the year. So this time I pruned it, and then a couple months later, as it was starting to grow, I cut it again.
It won't produce that.
And well, they said. I mean, I was following what some people were saying
Oh, well,
online, and they were saying that
what do I know?
they were just saying that the nutrients that were going into the growth, like where it was just growing really high,
Right.
you want that to go into the fruit
Right.
production.
When you cut them, then they bleed. They bleed out.
Mhm.
Let's try the
So
garlic
I only cut them in February.
Yeah, That's what I used to do too.
Yeah.
I thought I'd try something different this year, so see if I could get some
Picking seeds.
fruit.
Right.
So can you see here where the cell wall's a little jagged?
Yeah.
Especially in the early
So when we're looking at your whole sample,
concoctions,
these
they
red
have
blood cells
what they
have
do.
about a 4-month life cycle.
They do.
So,
their bars,
some of these that we're
but
seeing
I
are
feel like their bars
brand
are
new,
made-
they're babies.
Because the bars
Some of them are
are
middle aged and some of them
so
are
I feel
about to
like their
go.
bars are made
Once you start seeing
separate
the
from
oxidative
everybody else.
damage to the
I feel
cell
like I
wall,
have-
they're not
we've
gonna
had
last a whole lot
conversations with
longer.
somebody
it weakens the
It
cell
has
wall, and a
serious
lot of
gut
times
allergy.
pathogens like the
else.
parasites,
Neil, like,
bacteria,
said,
fungus
no,
get
there's no
inside,
cross-contamination.
and then they're
They're
dead.
done
Then they'll die.
independent.
Then where they go?
The body cleans it out.
Goes to your liver.
In fact, I think there's a, you know, I'm not real sure,
Also has
but I do know that there's
detoxing or
monocytes are a type of white blood cell that clean up dead cells. So that's one way they might get cleaned up. But
sunshine is out of stock on.
your sample does not have, you know, it's not full of these. If it was full of these, then we would be a little concerned that there's a lot of oxidative damage to your cells, and that they're dying too early. Well, that's not. I don't think that's happening. But I did want to just let you know what that means.
You got a minute?
You talked about pomegranate and garlic and, you know, all those fruits and vegetables, and even some animal products have antioxidants or help our body to produce antioxidants that protect our cell walls so they stay nice and strong. So keep doing that. Keep doing what you're doing with the antioxidants, because it seems like you're getting a good amount to keep your cell walls healthy. We're moving towards the outer edge of your cell or of your sample.
That look like a bunch of them.
That's right. So when we move out towards the outer edge, the cells are less, the less healthy cells go out there. So the further out here we go, we're gonna see less healthy cells. We're seeing more clumping, where they're clumping together out here. So I'm gonna go kind of quickly and just get out here towards the edge. We actually have extreme clumping called rouleau. That can indicate that the proteins that you're eating aren't digesting great. If we saw this throughout your whole sample, it would be something you would want to definitely focus on as far as digestion goes.
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid.
Also have
Yep.
cellular
And enzymes.
from
Yep.
the,
Are you doing that?
No.
Okay.
They're out of stock on cellular.
I was curious because your clumping is so low. I was wondering if you were already doing that.
No, I had intended to, but I don't eat very much meat.
Mm-hmm.
They're very
I
similar
eat
though. The
some,
environmental
but
detox,
it's limited.
Okay.
I mean, I'll eat it in quiche,
and I like that.
and because I had a hamburger last night, because I was at a prayer dinner, and that's what they had.
Yeah.
But typically,
Wait. Zyrtec.
I don't eat
The-
near the
the
meat that I
acid
used to
suppressant?
eat.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
Zyrtec.
Yeah, that tends to be the more difficult proteins to digest.
No. Oh, I mean.
But that's one thing Jim can see in the iridology really well, is whether somebody has enough hydrochloric
Yes,
acid
it will.
in their
Yes.
stomach.
And
I've
we
been
have,
meaning,
we
used to
have
have
one that's
some.
a blocker. Perfect, it's called Histoblock.
There was like a
That-
purple pill,
Look,
hydrochloric
it's the
acid.
second thing
Jim saw
I
here.
thought of.
I forget what brand it was.
Yeah, is it the Beta Gest?
This one to
Yeah,
detox.
you still got it?
Histoblock, kind of
Yeah, it's a great
whatever,
product.
I've been meaning
whatever.
to get some,
Yeah.
'cause
Mm-hmm.
I used to have ulcers,
And then it doesn't have to be on
and
that.
they had me on, that's when I met Jim in '84.
Okay.
I had ulcers.
Sorry, I don't mean to look at you like that. Sorry.
They had me on stuff to reduce my acid in my stomach. He said, you need more acid.
Yeah. Yep.
And he said, you need to, it's a sore, so you need to put garlic and capsicum in first thing in the morning so it can heal that. I think he said, what happens if you cut your hand? What'd you put on? I said, alcohol. He said, burn up, kill the bacteria so it can heal. I don't know if he said that, but so I started taking capsicum and garlic and Uber Ursa, I think it was,
Okay.
first thing in the morning, and I could feel the heat in my
Right.
stomach. It burned twice in my stomach
Yeah.
and coming out.
Okay.
So that's how I healed my ulcers
Okay. Great.
back in '85.
Oh wow.
And so, and I did have hydrochloric acid, normally, what you call it? The hydrochloric acid.
It's a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna make you a copy of the
Brand,
same.
you just-
Oh, beta jets.
Beta jets,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would help with just breaking up this clumping that we're seeing out here in the outer parts of your sample. So these, this is what they look like when they get the oxidative damage, and then they also have pathogens inside them. So most of these look kind of fuzzy inside the center, and that's from pathogens. And notice not as many parasites, right? Like you don't see as many
Yeah.
parasites here
They're
because
inside the cells.
they're inside the cells.
And I'm finna get rid of those. My body's finna expel those dead cells. Those are,
Yes, your body's gonna clean those up and get them out.
I mean, you can take
Yeah.
prescription medicine with this company.
I did just learn this week that
For the most part, now, they do have a small.
nitric oxide
but
helps,
for the most
I
part,
believe,
that's
helps
just
to
it.
clean out a lot of that
You
dead
can do
stuff
it with enzymes,
quicker.
I'm taking
Because it's just
that.
Good.
But
The nitric oxide
raw herbs,
helps in your heart,
like this
the
company.
reduction of your hormones and
Blood pressure.
blood pressure.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I got my blood pressure down about a month ago, and I don't know what I was doing different, and then it's back up. It come down to
Yeah.
120, 130, and that's back up to 150, 160.
Huh.
I don't know what I was doing.
In relation to, you said you take salmon oil, which is really good for blood pressure. Do you take
Metacanasi.
just magnesium by itself?
Well, it's a magnesium, it's calcium, magnesium, it's
Mhm.
a mecha, something that's got all that
Okay.
in it.
I would recommend increasing your magnesium.
I did. I
Okay.
take 2 twice a day now,
Hmm.
which 2 is supposed to give you 4,500.
Yeah, maybe just the magnesium part, not the calcium magnesium together. Just the magnesium by itself.
And the foods with magnesium is
Some of the leafy
nuts.
greens and
Yes.
I think
Spinach.
yeah, I think some of the cruciferous vegetables.
Yeah, I was eating a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just got tired. I'm gonna start back to that. It's work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot
It
of work.
is. You're right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that Neolife did just come out 2 weeks ago with a new nitric oxide product.
Really.
It's like a powder drink,
Here's your cellular detox.
and it's
Okay, thank you.
so I've started taking that every day to try it out for a month because it's got like a month's supply in the box.
No movement at all there. Is it?
No, it slowed down quite a bit out here. Of course, we're out. We're out here where they can't. They don't really have anywhere to go too much. We're gonna go down
Full,
and go back
so
across
it's not the actual nut
and
itself.
just see what we see out
It's,
here.
the green outer part and then the next layer in. But the next layer in touches. There's
A lot of bubbles out here too, so it's a little bit harder to see exactly what's going on. But I mean, I think
So maybe he does stay
it's
on
pretty
this.
clear to me that the fungus and parasites are
Until we
the
can figure out
top-
how to get him.
top
Yeah.
areas that I would recommend working on. Possibly the protein digestion as well.
I'm just pills, you know, if it's capsules, if it's some swallowing issues. So I wanted to ask you about myself, just
The
like.
overall clumping is not real bad. Much better than most people that I see. So that's a really good thing.
So you can't.
The plaque.
Clumping, plaque, cholesterol.
Plaque is much lower than what I normally see.
Would that be cholesterol?
Yeah, related to
Related to
cholesterol.
cholesterol. Yeah. Well, they had me on.
And inflammation.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a lot of inflammation, or do you feel like
I
that's
got a lot
come down
less.
a lot?
I got a lot less than I had because I
That's
quit
good.
taking that amlodipine.
That's good.
How much?
It's because inflammation is really what sometimes creates the damage that the plaque is there to help heal.
I told you from the very beginning.
So,
I was fighting inflammation with anti-inflammatory drugs, and they put me on a blood pressure medication that increased inflammation. I was on that for 20 years,
wow.
having heart attacks,
Wow.
strokes, and all that stuff, and then they so after that last incident, all them doctors talking out of their Rockefellers, then I called them all. Same thing as Jeremiah called them. You vipers,
Mm-hmm.
we had liars and vipers.
Do you know what else I'm not seeing? Is fibrin. Little fibrin strands.
What's that?
They are little sticks that they're little proteins that the body produces when we're under stress.
You're gonna go.
And it can be physical stress, it could be exercise. Sometimes exercising will produce some fibrin.
Well, I ain't gonna
Surgery,
have none, I ain't gonna have none of that
injuries,
stuff. Exercise produces it.
emotional stress. It can produce that. The COVID shots and having COVID produce a lot of fibrin.
Really?
So I'm typically seeing a lot more fibrin these days than I used to.
Huh.
But I'm not seeing any in your blood, so that's good.
I've had the shots.
Okay.
So he's
But
typically
I
boys
think I'm doing
get
the things to help.
I think you're helping your body
So he's
to deal with the negative parts of the shot better than most people probably,
Which I do find
because they do cause a lot of damage. Especially the vitamin E is helpful in the salmon oil.
Yeah, I take 2 vitamin E,
Mhm.
like over 1,000 of that, and
That really can help.
3 or 4 salmon oils.
Yeah.
Or Brazil, she's allergic to Brazil, but she can still eat other foods. But Brazil nuts and peanuts.
All right. So this is the closest view we're gonna get.
That would be so sad. Peanut butter is one of my favorite things.
There.
Can you eat peanuts?
And
Because it's not a tree.
Right. His allergy.
this here is a indicator of liver weakness when you see yellow inside one of the red blood cells.
But he remembers, because he was diagnosed with this allergy at
It's
this age.
kind of a general thing. Like I can't give you any details, but that's just what that usually will indicate
It's probably
when you see that.
But I will tell you, one of the
Well,
things.
the liver's supposed to clean the blood, so it need to have a good, healthy liver.
About, because I didn't know it was allergic to nuts. And,
This one here, when it's dark inside, kind of cloudy, that's a pancreas indicator. So we're seeing liver and pancreas with the target cells. I'll just make a note that we're seeing some of those. Those yellow. And that's where doing the iridology can help. Kind of confirm any of these as a area that you really want to focus on or not.
my husband, one time he had his first
That's a kind of an odd shaped plaque line there.
House, he's eating nuts at Winston, had just had a shower, went and sat down beside him, and he's just, holding it.
See the white blood cell there?
All of a sudden
It's got
like-
different lobes.
I'm trying to remember.
That's a
what
neutrophil.
was happening with him. He wasn't
Most-
having like trouble breathing or anything, but something. And then one time he ate it.
You're to the edge now, aren't you?
Was that
You about?
to the edge? I'm kind of going back toward the middle.
Still be-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, heading back to the middle.
Now the seed thing,
Yeah,
okay.
that's your
So the
blocking.
seed
I mean,
thing
your
could be
parasites.
And that's.
Yeah, I think if you really focused on the parasites and the fungus for the next 6 months or so, I think you'll see a big difference in your blood.
Beta Just, are you familiar with, when I say Beta Just anytime? Beta Just helps your belly.
It's like a real party going on right there.
Mm.
It's like a full moon party.
Okay, okay. Right, you said that, and I forgot.
like the band playing, yeah.
That's right.
Cool in the game.
And just went, had pizza. And sure enough, I don't know what
So we're seeing quite a few more damaged red blood cells out here. We're kind of going back towards the middle, getting closer to the middle. So hopefully we'll see those really nice, pretty.
Sesame, it was sesame oil.
So I say, ooh, there's a.
And he gets, you know, he's
That is a plaque. If you kind of compare it to that one up there, it's got it's a little larger plaque than what we've been seeing. Lots of uric acid crystals on that one.
And the
That was-
hospital, yeah.
Let's just take 5 seconds and ask. So, for myself, you say just cut out the sugar.
Well, it's also, no, and, you know,
That's where I feel like the
It's okay, I'm judging.
No, I know.
the new product is called
Um,
Upbeat, the nitric acid, nitric oxide product. I feel like that with all the antioxidants that it has in it and
Not individuals.
helps the endothelial lining of our blood passageways,
Well, I'm
plus
sharing.
oxygenates the body, plus it does all these different things, relaxes the blood vessels.
Your head shouldn't hurt.
But the antioxidants I feel like can really help protect our cell walls better. Have you ever taken carotenoid complex? So it's another antioxidant product. That's a good one too to help protect the cell walls better. I don't know if that's a top priority or not for you, but we are seeing quite a few oxidative damaged cell walls. But the not a lot of clumping, and that's really good. Not a lot of fibrin.
So yeah, the only thing we talk about with
This is what
allergies
fibrin looks
are
like.
once it gets past
See,
the
you
throat.
see that faint line?
I see.
So if it gets here,
That's
then
what
we can
fibrin
help.
is.
But
But some
I
people,
feel like
it's
after
very
I-
obvious they have a lot of fibrin. It's really
yeah,
causing their blood to be
I
thicker,
think so.
sticky. It's hard to
Yes.
pump, so it raises the blood
Yes.
pressure.
Is there a
And that would be
So-
interesting. to
so I
see if we
recommend,
just detox it.
There's a product called nattokinase. Are you familiar with nattokinase?
I take it.
Taking it? Okay, that's probably why we don't see the
Between
fibrin then.
that
Yeah,
and
I was
the
taking
garlic
it.
sugar.
And
Oh, and the sign of.
I took a bottle and then I was needing some more and it was easy, so I just ordered some off the internet.
Okay.
If you wanted to
And
get
then,
rid of the
I
prescription.
think that's when my pressure started going on. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it smelled.
Yeah.
And it was brown instead of white. So I came back and got some more.
Okay.
So when I was here before, that's so.
Okay.
So why not finish?
Yeah, you should try
Know that.
eating the actual natto, the fermented soybeans.
Yeah,
really
for
tastes-
when-
In my
when those
opinion,
are gone.
and I'm not a picky eater.
Tastes like dirt.
It tastes bad. Yeah, it's bitter. It's kind of bitter, like a bitter tasting.
Well, for your
And
pain and.
Well, I ate
your-
the,
So I'd rather just
your
take the
issues, I would
nattokinase.
suggest,
I ate the, I ate,
turmeric and,
beets.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to eat
well, the salmon is like a
beet
gel
greens.
cap.
Yeah.
I tried to eat them.
Turmeric,
Yeah.
no,
I
because-
couldn't handle it.
I think I've tried those before too, and they weren't my favorite.
I stick to turnip greens and
Yeah.
kale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those salads is really, I think, really helped me more than anything.
Yeah.
Those mixed green salads.
Mhm.
I was eating those like twice a day. I was
Mhm.
eating those boxes a week,
Mhm.
and
Good. Yeah,
I-
stick with that
well,
for sure.
I had to get back on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would put mangoes,
That's not turmeric, but
walnuts,
it's
and
the same company and,
balsamic vinegar dressing.
yeah, oh, yeah, it's definitely.
Oh, that sounds that sounds good.
He doesn't,
Well,
Doug doesn't play around with multiple, yeah, sizes and packets. So the trick to these,
Yeah, I think that with
is to fill your mouth full of water and not throw your head back.
what
To lean
we
it forward.
saw in the
Yeah.
blood today,
And I typically, because I can sometimes on a good day,
the highest areas
I can swallow.
are the fungus,
10
which is a 5, and the parasites, which is a 5.
I-
The
it's taken a long time
the other
to get
ones
to
you
that.
could look at
But you
down the
kinda
road if you wanted to,
make
which
sure
would be
everybody's
things like
wet
the
before you try to swallow.
protein digestion, plaque,
Before you try to swallow.
uric
yeah,
acid,
let me put this back real
um,
quick.
and I think the oxidation, you know, protecting your cell walls, that would be probably something I would focus on at some point. But you can keep doing that through your diet with what you're doing. Just keep focusing on foods that are high in antioxidants, but and less sugar.
Even natural.
Yep. And always, you know, always reducing our exposure to things that cause oxidative stress and oxidative damage. You know, so some people have jobs where they're constantly exposed, like if they're working with paint and fumes and, you know, nail technicians with all the chemicals they work with, and hairdressers, they're exposed to a lot of toxins that can cause a lot of oxidative damage. Smoking does that. So if you're around secondhand smoke, even, but so if we can always be working on reducing our toxic exposure, that's going to help protect ourselves too, even better. And EMFs, electromagnetic fields. So
Like
cell phones and Wi-Fi is what we're mainly exposed to. Yeah.
Wi-Fi is all over the house.
Yeah. So you might want to give yourself a break at night. Turn it off at night.
Turn the Wi-Fi off.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to have that for the cameras to work.
Okay. So there's some things you can use that neutralize EMFs. Shungite, the rock called shungite, is a really good one to do that. So you could kind of look into that further. Jim and Pat know a lot about shungite, so you could ask them some questions about that sometime. But there are things that will neutralize the cell phone Wi-Fi radiation, so it's not quite so, changes the wavelength, so it's not damaging to our bodies. So that can cause clumping, cause our red blood cells to clump and stick together, and it also causes that oxidative damage to our cells.
Well, it covers.
So let me just check and make sure.
For what he's dealing with.
I've got a 2:00 appointment, so I just want to make sure she wasn't waiting to. But I can make a copy of this for you. Do you have any other questions about this? Okay. All right.